What is up? What is up, book addicts? B Maraka here, back with another episode of the Book Rant. So, the boys had a new show come out recently called Gen V, which sort of follows the one of the stories in the comics, but in its own way. The boys doesn't directly adapt the comics. It is, I wouldn't even say loosely. They're still following like the boys are trying to take down Vought and expose them and everything. The rich evil corporation, blah blah blah. But they're using Gen V to tell one of the longer story arcs in which Huey kind of, in the comics, Huey infiltrates this school for superheroes, which is basically a parody of X-Men. The professor who runs the school is this uptight butler-looking guy who's actually doing horrible things to the kids. Yeah, it's messed up. Gen V, the show, is not following that. However, they are introducing one of the comic book's most controversial characters, Tech Knight. Tech Knight is a combination of Batman and Iron Man, with a little bit of Deadpool smudged in, if I do say so myself. The guy's a rich bastard with tons of gadgets. He acts all cool and mighty, thinks he's up there with the Seven. It's not as serious as Batman, I would say. In the comics, he did have a butler who later left him because he was trying to screw him in the ear. He has an underground cave just like Batman. Like Iron Man and Batman, he's a rich billionaire. He's been introduced in the show, and he seems like he's helping Vought keep cover of their dirty plans. Introducing this character is so important because The Boys is not your typical superhero show. It is to make fun of the superhero ideology and everything. To make fun of Superman, Batman, Iron Man, Captain America. To show that these guys, if they existed in the real world, they would be influenced by greed and money. Sure, some would probably go on being good doers, trying to do the right thing. But getting a taste of that celebrity status and all that power and wealth and money and sex and fame and drugs, all the highs they get off it, let's be real. Superheroes will not be able to resist that. And The Boys takes that realistic approach that other comic storytellers have been unable to see. That's why I think The Boys is a great book. And I am so happy they're adapting it. Bringing Tech Knight into the picture of the show is so important. He was very important in the comics. He wasn't like an overall series leading character, but he did play a big role in showing that regular people wanted to be superheroes too. In the comics, he's a rich guy, and Butcher basically says he wants to be like the Seven. He has all this money, and he wants to be one of the superheroes. He wants to be cool. He wants to be famous. He wants to be all high and mighty. So he uses his money to make a bunch of gadgets, to make an awesome suit, to help him fight crime. And just like in the comics, apparently they are following this in the show. In the comics, he suffers from a sex addiction. He screws anyone and anything. Cats, coffee mugs, donuts, his butler's ear. And apparently that is translating into the TV show, of course. Eric Kirk cannot afford to drop that out. So I'm excited. I've only watched some clips of Gen V. I kind of want to wait for the whole series to be out before I watch it. But adapting this character of Tech Knight from the comic books into the show adaptations and the universe of the TV shows is important because he shows that people who weren't made directly by Vought, brought up genetically and cloned with superpowers of Compound V, regular people who have the money to afford to be superheroes, to afford the gadgets and fame and all that. That's just like in the real world. If you have the money for something, if you have the influence, you can pretty much get your hands on anything. That's why The Boys is such an important story. Garth Ennis is a genius author for telling this story, and Eric Kirk for making the TV show. So yeah, guys, check out Tech Knight and his sexual addiction on The Boys and Gen V. Let me know what you think in the comics. Do you think they're going too far with this character? Do you think they're going to use him more in the show than they did in the comics? He only really had the one arc in the comics, and he wasn't really brought up ever again. I'm hoping that he becomes a bigger part in the show. I was hoping Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to play him, but it looks like that ship has sailed. So it's still a mystery on who he is going to be in the universe, which I am totally excited about. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comics about all this. Let me know what you think about Tech Knight. Down below is a link to help some fur babies. Take care, people.